Don't tell my boss. Hey my working class people, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Intern 101 with me, Krista Fuller. Last week we focused on the interview. This week I want to actually talk about what I went through while on internship. What was my role, my responsibilities, and so let's go right into that. I was placed at a marketing agency called Monumental Partners. Here, I was placed in the digital marketing department. My responsibilities mainly were to come up with content calendars for the brands that we manage. So that means making stuff for social media, monitoring the pages, answering questions, making sure that we're getting engagement, likes, comments, people are following the pages, that kind of stuff. One of the other things that I was in charge of was, I wouldn't say I'm in charge of activations, but I'm the one that they would usually send on the road to cover activations. So sometimes on the weekends, I would go with a phone that was loaded up with internet access data. So I would go around and take some snapshots, upload them to Instagram and upload them to Facebook as well. Here's a quick clip of some of the things that I would do while I was on the road.
To get rid of pencil and grit.
That was the wrong clip. Okay, so I promise that wasn't all I did on the road. Here are some clips of stuff I actually did.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
So that's basically what I was responsible for. Here's an example of a calendar that I did. It was my very first calendar. I'll probably put it here somewhere. The type of brands that I would cover Glade, and I was also responsible later down for Frito-Lay. So let's talk about office life. There were some times when sitting around that desk was just dreadfully boring. There was a time at the office where things were very, very, very quiet, when like nothing was going on. Because not only did I have to come up with a broad calendar, I actually had to sit down, and if it was for 30 days, the month had 30 days, I'll be coming up with posts for 30 days. And sometimes the client which would be the brands, they want more than one post for each day. So you'd be looking at 2 posts per day, so that's 2 times 30, that's 60 posts, and you're doing it for more than one brand. It's a lot. There were times when I had not one soul to talk to. I tried a lot of ways to stay awake. I mean, I'd be listening to Steve Harvey, watching Family Feud, listening to music. I love Michael Jackson and I'm a Christian, so I listen to a lot of gospel music as well. I would just be having a good time. So I would run these things in the background while I was, trying to come up with concepts, trying to come up with, that was basically my brain at work every day. Just trying to work. It was challenging trying to, stay awake because you're just sitting there, and boy, sometimes you're tired. Because I had school. One time I actually fell asleep and I was so embarrassed because I got caught. Okay, I'ma just think for a while. Then I heard somebody coming, and I was just like, after the whole Christmas season had passed, when we got back to work, things were still relatively quiet. So I didn't have much doing, and then all of a sudden, everything came tumbling down. So we had a lot of meetings. I participated in a lot of meetings of how we're strategizing the year. By that time, I had gotten another supervisor. Sometimes the clients themselves would send over what they want us to execute for them. But for right now, we're gonna head into our question and answer session. I went on Instagram, where you guys can follow me at work_n_class, and I asked you guys to send me questions that you would have about internships in general, and yeah, anything that you want to ask me. I mean, come on, just ask me and ask away in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and ask me there. Yeah, here are 2 questions that you guys asked. This one says, what were you most fearful of when starting the internship? Honestly, I was most fearful about just doing the job itself. I was not very confident in what I had to offer. But like I said last week, internships are a great place to start, especially when you're feeling that way. There were a lot of times when the boss himself would be speaking in like a meeting or be speaking to us one-on-one, and he would ask me certain things and I just didn't know the answer, and I felt really embarrassed about that. But you go home, you read up some more, you come back, and next time you're better prepared. Through that, I learned a lot. So yeah. Question number 2 says, what did you find hard to translate from text to practice? Analysis. I don't work well with numbers, so that was something that I found hard to do at the beginning. But when I got the new supervisor, she explained a lot of what she has learned over the years, so I was able to know where to go to find what information. Anything that you think you are not capable of doing, definitely do some research, find somebody you can talk to, ask questions to see how they would go about it, and see if you can, bring that on over to your party. So yeah, and that's on that. Just one more quick tip before we go on how to be more productive at work. Definitely do whatever it takes to stay attentive, stay awake. If that means you listen to music in the background, do that, but don't be listening to it so loudly that you can't hear what's going on around you, because 1, that's a hazard, and 2, people in the office might actually want your attention. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It doesn't make sense that you sit down at your computer, you're having a problem with the assignment they've given you, and you're just basically wasting time just staring at the screen. You'll never get those moments back. So just ask the questions. If you don't want to ask your superior, ask someone that is, like I asked my coworker lots of questions, and he was, gracious enough to answer me. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help, especially if you really do need it. Those are some ways that you can, be more productive while you're at work. I'll see you guys next time in another episode of Intern 101. Until then, keep being productive.